Hi, welcome back to Event Ready Podcast, where we talk about our roller coaster ride of being a live event artist.
If you're a painter, calligrapher, or illustrator, this podcast is for you because we're about to uncover the secrets, the stories, and the struggles of the industry.
And we're your hosts. I'm Telisa.
I'm Isabel.
Welcome back. Thanks for being back. So last episode we share our experience about now and then, what we would approach. And this episode, it's also a different format again. It's based on our experience where we don't we don't have any actionable advice for this, for sure. I know we said that last time when we ended up having everything was actionable advice.
Yeah.
But I think this is a very personal experience that some of you may feel beyond your skill set. You know, things that are like
things out of your control.
Exactly. Things out of your control. Things that like you really can't do anything about. And things that are just, we are wondering and no one has really talked about it openly. So
yeah.
So we are basically this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask one question this time.
Just one. It's
question.
A big question.
One question, but it's a very loaded questions. So the question is, do you ever feel like identity, whether it's your race, your gender, your orientation, your religion, your views, could possibly hinder your chance of being hired by clients? That's the big question.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and just expand a little bit, like I did last time, that this is just something that's kind of continuously come up on our chats, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where like there's been opportunities where we maybe suspect that we got or lost a job due to things not within our skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like good per se, like
wait, what do you
feel
mean?
like sorry, good as in like we got the job because of it.
Okay.
But then it's like it's not a great feeling either, because you're like, but I want to be hired for my skills, not for other stuff. Yeah. But most of the time I feel like it just leaves us kind of like icky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do. I 100%. I think before I even start doing live events, I honestly didn't think that I would be doing this because of my very visible of how I dress and like my religion. So I honestly didn't think that I would be hired at all. It wasn't even like my goal to be like a live event artist at all. So
do you think like, was it internal?
It was
that this like that fear came from you, or do you think there was anything external that made you feel like you got like feedback that somebody wouldn't hire because of it?
It's because I think because I was facing discrimination at work and I was in HR.
Yeah.
And that basically made me feel discouraged to be like, you know what? I'm just happy doing like little, like just commissioned. I'm okay if I'm not doing like, I was like actually accepting it.
Yeah.
This is like in 2018, 2019. Like, I'm like, you know what? I accept that probably people don't want to hire who dress like me because I wear hijab and like, like I was very accepting of that fate.
Yeah. You already took it and said, fine, it's whatever.
Yeah. And I also want to say that like after I did get hired, I still had that lack of confidence, and I actually I had a public speaking coach, and
Oh, that's
she,
right, you
yeah,
did.
and she actually like took me out of that, I guess, bubble
Mindset.
mindset. Yeah, the limiting beliefs. She like made me feel like you do, that you actually deserve this opportunities. Like this is like you shouldn't limit yourself because of things that you can't control. And I feel like she liberated me with our one-on-one. And yeah.
That's crazy. Like, I know that it can like hold us back so much, what we think other people look at us with.
Yeah.
There was like a sentence I used to say about myself all the time,
Mhm.
and it'll come up like yeah, like in the corporate like work environment.
Mhm.
And I would like complain about work and like office stuff to my husband, who is white. And I would say stuff like, "Oh, but like I'm just a little Asian girl, so like what am I gonna do about it?" I used to say that all the time.
Mhm.
Um, be like, "Oh, like this happened and that happened, and like they bully me with this, and then they expect me to do this, but I'm just a little Asian girl, so what am I gonna do about it?" You know? Um,
Mhm.
and it was like kind of painful to get that pointed out, because I don't know if I noticed that I was saying that. And eventually he was like, "Well, you gotta stop saying that about yourself because
Yeah.
that's just what you think. That's what you think other people think about you."
Yeah.
Um, and like, yeah, okay, this of course there's a possibility of somebody actually thinking that, but
Mhm.
it's way bigger in your mind than what probably is true. So then I had to like really like wrangle myself out of that mindset too, to be like, yeah, okay, and like I'm only 5 foot tall, but I'm gonna do something about it, right? Like they can't speak to me that way. I'm gonna talk back. Like I'm not gonna
Mm.
let people treat me this way just because, right? Um, so yeah, like it's really like a sensitive, painful thing to think about
Yeah.
it because yeah, like of course we've faced discrimination because of the way we look,
Mhm.
who we are. Um, yeah. And I feel like that could like sometimes translate on site. Um, not necessarily maybe getting hired, but just like when I am there,
Mhm.
I feel like I just imagine like other people looking at me a certain way,
Mhm.
which probably isn't true, but I like you just have this image stuck in your mind, like what other people might see you as and what judgments you might get because of it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think because we're both like person of colors, and then the media was not very kind to create this stereotypes, right? Of different people of different race and different gender and different like religion. And because of that, you like internalize it and you like assume that, oh, that must be the reason why I'm not hired. Oh, this might be like really hard. I might have to do the work 3 times harder than someone who's more privileged, who's like white or like, and like a straight white person. So then because and then that obviously it's really hard, especially I know that, so we living in Canada, even though there's like a lot of diversity, but because there's so much diversity, it's also easier for people to be racist,
yeah.
right? Than if you
Yeah.
were to live in, say, if you were to live in Taiwan, if I were to live in Indonesia, like
Yeah.
it's not something that you probably, maybe there's colorism, but it's like the layers of of diversity is just a lot more complex by
Yeah.
living in Canada.
Yeah.
than-
Here, there's room for teens,
Yeah.
right? Like everyone has some set of beliefs about certain groups of people.
Mhm.
And there's definitely a lot more opportunity for people to say stuff like, well, like, I have an Asian wife too, and she ... right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Like, okay, that's a microaggression happening.
like that stuff happens. And on site, oh, like the shit people say sometimes. Oh my god.
It's like, wow, you did not just say that. Like
the I get the Chinese wife comment more than you think. It's like,
oh, I could imagine.
so uncomfortable. It's like, oh, actually, my wife is Chinese too, and we visit blah and blah country, and we love this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, that's just your lived experience. Like, you didn't need the preface. Just say, me and my wife love visiting this country. Like that sentence is fine. You don't gotta,
Yeah. You gotta have that, like, the ethnicity of you.
yeah, we don't need any of the other disclosures. So yeah, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
those
a- it's-
interactions, those awkward interactions with customers and guests could definitely feel like make the experience like a little awkward.
Yeah, and maybe this isn't like specifically about getting hired or not, but like
Yeah.
it definitely affects the on-site experience.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been discriminated before on site. Someone who's like just completely saying inappropriate things to me because I'm visibly a Muslim. So, but and this was in a very high-end store. So they actually had to call security for this
Oh
customer.
my god.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, it was a thing, and I was like, oh my god, my heart was like thumping.
So they were just like, what did they say slurs? What did
Well,
they do?
no, it was like this is so this has a lot to do with political views, and I know I wouldn't really call it political. It's usually when a Muslim or like it's just assumed that everyone who's like hijabi there we speak out against the injustices that are happening with the Palestinian, right, in Gaza and whatnot. So at this time, this was at the very high, like it just started. And that's a whole other thing that I wanted to talk about with that experience. Basically, she was saying something like, no wonder, it's like almost like they deserve it because you don't cover your neck. Like, what are you trying to say here? So it was such an awkward, I don't even remember exactly what happened, because I was like, so
you like blocked it out from trauma.
That too, and I was like confused what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
It was once he was being she mentioned something about me being Muslim, and then she brought up about Palestine, and I was like, I'm no. And then that's when the sales associate, the manager, was like, okay, and then they actually like shield me, and then we're like, you need to walk away, and then they call the security, and then they found her, and they're like, you're not allowed to be in this store.
Dude.
So I appreciated that the staff was doing that.
Yeah, they had your back. They're like,
yeah,
she represents our brand, and
yeah,
we
exactly.
can't have any disrespect here. Oh my god, why are people so terrible?
It was so scary. I feel like I'm like, oh my god. And also I've like they never like stopped. Like they kept hiring me year after year. So with this brand, and I'm very thankful of that. And again, I think the more that I work with them, that I realize that my religion, ethnicity they don't really look at that. But however, sometimes I do feel.
Mhm.
Sometimes,
For-
like a lot of times. Yeah,
That's the thing. For this client, you learn that it didn't matter.
it didn't matter.
But for other clients, it definitely does. Like
Yeah, because of I cover my hair. I'm pretty sure. I'm 100% sure that some clients do not, or some brands do not want to hire someone who dressed like me.
Yeah.
Because of how I have to dress, how I have to be dressed. Like it doesn't follow their guide, their rules, which is and because there's a lot more of clients who would hire me for being me than those who don't want to, then it's just more like, okay, that's fine. I don't want to work with them either.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's really not great, obviously. But I also want to be like, screw them, because we just can't change that.
No, we can. And
we can't change that by ourselves. So it's like, there's always going to be people who judge us based on what we look like. And like, we don't want to work with you either. So bye.
And I think I know we talk about this in the other episode because of your last name, and people will be surprised that you're actually Chinese.
Yeah, that has happened where I had to, like, submit a photo kind of thing before I was hired to do Chinese calligraphy, which, like, by the way, kind of fair, but also I guess it was just the easiest way to verify without coming out with the question.
Yeah, like, are you Chinese?
Hey, are you Chinese? Like,
we can't ask that. Are you Chinese, by the way?
Yeah, by the way, by the by. But yeah, so like, yeah, obviously I'm okay with the fact that they wanted me to be Chinese to do Chinese calligraphy. And at the same time, it's like, oh, I wonder if there's been times where I have been overlooked because of my last name. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. So the one thing that we both do is, like, we always have our pictures everywhere.
Yeah. Now
it's like the first thing.
It's front and center on the website. It is on multiple pages of my website. It is in my email signature. It's like, this is what I look like. Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to hide it, right? Yes, you have this, like, fear sometimes, like, or like scarcity mindset. I'm not gonna get hired because I'm XYZ. Like, no. You, like, if you want to hire me, this is what I look like. This is how I dress. This is my vibe. This is this is me. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. And sometimes, it honestly, it does in some cases work in our favor, because there are companies who are kind of looking to hire more diverse vendors. Or they specifically want to support a person of color community. Like you said, don't hide it. It's just who you are. And you're going to get and you're going to lose jobs because of it. And that's just the way it is.
It's just how it is. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat it. Would you lose job? Yeah, absolutely. But that's not, like, the end of all, right? So it's not the end of the world. There's still a lot more, especially if you live in a very diverse environment, country, market. It's just usually not an issue.
Yeah.
It's like 80-90% usually okay. 10%. But if they don't want to, they don't want to.
And the good thing is, I think we don't hear from them. Like, it's not like somebody's gonna be explicit in why they didn't choose you. Like, They just disappear. It's fine.
They just like don't even bother. I'm like, oh, she looked like that.
Yeah. Refer back to the previous episode in Getting Ghosted. Just a goodbye.
Yeah.
Sorry. What about your age?
Oh my god, I honestly I think about it all the time. I'm like, how long can I do this until
Right?
well, let's talk about that. How do you feel about it?
I think okay. I'll first things first. So I just turned 38, and my daughter, when she learned this number, she was like right before my birthday, and then right after my birthday, she was like telling the world. She was so proud of it. She was like, my mom is 38. My mom is gonna turn 38. My mom, like, just people we meet on the street, neighbors, friends, whatever, constantly repeating this number. I'm like, I need to be reminded again and again. Okay. Like, am I afraid? Not necessarily, but I do worry that there is a certain aesthetic, maybe, in like a luxury setting, or I don't know. Again, this might be like an internal pressure kind of thing. But yeah, I worry if, like, as we age, will it be less likely that we get asked to do these things? Possibly.
I actually wonder about this for specific type of event. If it's like an influencer PR events, is there
yeah, you're right about that.
An age limit? I have a lot of wonder about like those type of events where the guests are mostly hip and like, you know, cool and like, you know, influencers, very loud and like stuff like that. I don't know, because like, well, right now we are actually the exact same age, but I wonder if I was like maybe 50, 60, I wonder if I would be hired to do those kind of jobs.
Yeah. I mean, when we see, sorry, excuse me, when we see PR influencer events, I mean, we see all that content. I don't think I've ever seen an older person work there.
We're being honest here. We don't see them. And I think
usually
I think maybe like very few, but mostly there are like some influencer events though. They are very obvious that they're like all ages. When they're all ages, I don't think it matters. But what I want to know is if the guest lists are all the young hip people, would they hire someone who's older? I want to know. Like, I would like them for not be, you know, discriminative against that. But you know, obviously these are the things that they don't say. they just look what you look like, and
and they just approach you or not approach you because of it. I have like a more objective thought about this too, is like, you know, there is obviously like a correlation with like the younger you are, generally speaking, the more tech savvy you are, right? And in the age of, like you said, in PR influencer events, like they are looking for exposure of the event, of the brand. Like the whole purpose of having a media event is that it gets broadcasted, right? They want you to post about it. They want the influencers to post about it. If you're there and like you don't have an Instagram account, or like you don't know how to share your profile, or you know, like stuff like that could just make it harder.
It's not an advantage anymore. Like if you don't have that,
and I sometimes already worry about this because, you know me, like I'm very afraid of TikTok.
Like, you consume though.
I consume, but it's like in some respect, it's like I already stay off of a lot of things that the younger generations are using. So let's say like 10 years later, that's just gonna be what's the word? Like oh my god. I just lost my thought. Like it's just gonna be like enlarged. That effect is gonna get enlarged in the next decade where I have a fear that I'm gonna fall more and more behind about this kind of stuff, right? But then maybe at that point I just want to like paint in overalls in a studio. So maybe it won't affect me. I don't know.
Maybe we won't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, maybe we won't want to do it anymore.
It's too loud for us. I'm like, oh my god.
Right?
The music, you know.
Oh, yeah. I have another fear about this is like because I do fashion illustration. I don't personally identify as a very fashionable person myself. I'm like the poster child for like solid colors and like basic shapes. You know, my like navy shirt. Like I don't follow like fashion trends. I'm not like watching the Oscars red carpet at like with hawk eyes. So because I do this type of work, I feel like there's an expectation of me to A, dress fashionably, B, to like know about this topic where like I'll be very honest, like I'm not at the forefront of fashion knowledge. I love consuming and looking at things that inspire me and like textures and colors and things that like make me happy. But I'm not like, oh, this is out and this is in. And, you know, like I just don't know these topics very well. So I do have a little bit of that like imposter syndrome about that when I'm working. Especially at like fashion houses and brands, and I feel like the expectation for that is higher. Yeah, I don't know, that gives me like a little bit uncomfy feelings.
I think I fully understand what that means, and sometimes I wonder too if it's like, you know, if you're just a simple like wearing black, I feel like that's safe, right? But are you expecting us to be like trendy black, or like, you know, like are we expected to know our style? Because I don't know like how I would label my style. Like I just sometimes I wear like just a blouse and then like a regular white pants. I don't know what that would be called, but or sometimes I feel like I'm wearing a skirt because like I'm bloated, you know.
But okay, I will say though, at least from my perspective, you have like a personal style about you, right? Like you are confident in putting together outfits and things that like you're like, this looks good together, this doesn't look good together. Like I think you have a sense about those things that, and that's may or may not be like natural to you or like practiced, but
I think there's my mom's had a huge influence on me about that because she used to love dressing up and all that, and also because I feel like I'm overcompensating the fact that I'm a hijabi, that I feel like I need to wear in a way that it's fashionable, so then people don't look at me and just like, oh, she looks oppressed. You know what I mean?
That's so multi-layered. I had thank you for sharing that.
It's a very intentional decision.
Yeah, I didn't know about that, but I can see that. Yeah, because you're trying to like kind of point attention away from it.
Yeah.
And dress louder because of it. Yeah, I get it.
Like, because there obviously like I'm not gonna lie, I mean, we all know that there is always that assumption when you see a Muslim who wears hijab or like girls wear modest, oh, she must be oppressed. She's forced to wear this, right?
Yeah.
And then just for me to combat that, assumption, that I kind of train myself to dress well, even though I'm modest.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
want to show that it's just your choice.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because like we can't deny that like there are some countries that actually banned hijab, right? So I mean, it's not that far away from us within this country where wearing a headscarf is banned, or like any religious symbol. So yeah, that's a personal like decision.
Yeah, it sounds insane, but it totally happens.
Mhm.
It's a reality, which is crazy.
Mhm.
Okay.
Like I don't usually like on social media, I don't talk about like as much as like I'm very comfortable with my identity as a Muslim who lives in Canada and whatnot. I don't talk about it loudly on my social media. I only talk about my art. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
like tell them like, yo, I'm here, I'm a Muslim dad. I don't bring that up. I just don't wanna. I know that it could make you, and I mean some people do like to do that just to be comfortable with, being authentic and whatnot. But I'm just
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel comfortable doing that. I just feel like you can just see how I am, and I don't have to talk about my private life. I think to
Yeah.
me, religion is a very private thing to me. I don't even talk about that with you in person. So like,
No.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like I don't like to share that out loud.
We just talk about mom stuff and mom feelings.
Yeah, things that are like relatable, but like,
No, I mean
if
like you
anyone,
and me in private.
oh yeah. Exactly. But like if anyone ever asked me any questions, like yeah, I would answer it, but it's just not something that I would like,
Broadcast.
broadcast.
Yeah.
Speaking of broadcast, I do want to bring this up because I had a fear that it would actually hinder me from getting hired. It's gonna get a little deep. Obviously we all know what's going on with Gaza from 2023, and they're currently being genocided. Um, I think when that started, I was actually really scared to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought that it would actually impact how like reduce the opportunity that I would be hired. And so I think for like 2 months I didn't share where I work or whatnot because I just wanted to focus on being, bring awareness to what's going on, that it's like really bad, right? Because the main media had always been like just showing propaganda, and they really rely on people who like, from the source to show and show everything what's happening, and then based on the history and everything. So I was sharing that a lot, and I thought that would actually stop me being hired, but actually some of my clients actually said like, no, we actually want to work with you because you spoke up.
Mm-hmm.
So that was actually quite surprising, and it didn't ended up reducing my opportunity of being hired. If anything, I was actually more like busier. So so from that reflection, I realized that just being authentic, being if you like, I like these. I think this is like one thing that a lot of people have hesitation to speak up about. That it's okay, and then and it turned out that it didn't have any impact. It's just now it's just my choice whether I want to work with them or not.
Yeah.
Did someone was there anyone like any event planner who don't want to work with me because I was very loud about that? Maybe, but again, it's the same thing. Like, some people don't want to hire me because I wear hijab. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right, it's like the same thing. I'm like,
And didn't you like after speaking out, you made like a really good contact because of it, right?
I
It
did,
was
yeah.
yeah, and like you shared something over DMs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Where had you not spoken out, you
Mhm.
guys wouldn't have had that conversation and
Yeah.
became like a better partner because of it.
Yeah. So like that was quite surprising. I don't want to like, talk about it like very deep what it was, but it was definitely like there was
Mhm.
a lot of people actually aligned with my views, and now it's actually majority now, so it's more acceptable to speak out. Um, but I think like back in the days, it was actually like pretty. And this was two years ago. It was pretty scary to like, because you get like people DMing you whenever you speak out about it, and then trying to deflect, and then trying to, you know.
And you got some like attacky messages because of
Oh
it
yeah,
too.
for sure. Yeah,
So
that was like it's pretty scary to get that, right? And
like very violent.
yeah. Oh, and then on
So
top of that, with the whole thing, with my experience of being harassed by someone, and then bringing out about Palestine and Gaza, with me being a Muslim, it was like, those are the things that like that was like the worst thing that could happen. But like I didn't, like, I was quite surprised, and then, but the situation that's happening to them, to the people in Gaza, is a lot worse than I do. So like at the most that I could do is like I'll just take all these nasty DMs or whatever. I'm fine.
yeah.
And I was really ready. I was really ready to not be hired for like the holiday season because of that.
It's like when when you said you were ready to be a starving artist
Yeah.
when you started
I'm like, you know
freelancing,
what?
you're like, I was ready.
I was
This is the
ready. These
same
people are
thing.
being, yeah, these people are being carpet bomb. I'm
Yeah.
ready to like start for like two for a few months. But it ended up being the opposite. And if anything, a lot of people were actually sharing the same views. So
Mm-hmm. No, thank you for talking about it. I know it's like it's not easy to talk about this stuff.
mm,
Um, just like when you posted about all that stuff, like you had moments of doubt.
oh yeah.
So like being vulnerable and sharing like exactly how you felt about certain things could feel so isolating.
Mhm.
So
And it was
talking
us.
about it, yeah.
It was a lot of educating too. A lot of people don't know the real, history, right? Because,
Hmm.
as we all, it was, everything was just connected. We all realized all the racism and all happening. It's like, it's all, the struggle is like all very connected,
It's all
right?
one story.
It's like, yeah. So it was just like, so it was like moments of educating people who don't know what's happening and how it's affecting us as we are the taxpayer, you know, and how like it's affecting. Yeah, I don't want to get fully like into details of that, but it
And
was.
yeah, and you don't have to. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, we all know, and it just opens us up. That feeling of like you're just like opening up to the world, and you're
Yeah.
like, ugh, like what are people gonna say or think about it? And then in the end, you're like, nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So yeah, it was another moment, I guess. This.
Um, what about our gender and
That's a,
orientation?
that's a that's a good question. Um, I think I don't know if it's a privilege because we're women and most people in this industry are women. Um,
Uh, yeah, I think we are for our presenting gender. We are, I think, in an advantage.
yeah.
I think that I mean there are certainly male live artists, obviously, who are
Mhm.
successful, but I think there is a bit of an aspect where like let's say I mean how many times have we been hired by like an all women company or like all
Yeah.
women event celebrating women, like those events
Yeah.
are not going out of their way to hire a man, right? Like
Yeah.
So I think in like the current climate, I think it does work to our advantage. I think, yeah.
Yeah. And I definitely know some you know, some men who are in this industry and then they do really well. They're just not the majority. I think we're lucky that our industry actually are more accepting of everybody. I think we're
Yes.
lucky of that because
Yes.
we're like it was a very different experience if I was like in finance. Like corporate finance, because that's when I was like facing a lot of discrimination. But because of we're mostly in the events industry and mostly in the beauty industry, very accepting of everybody. So
Yeah. Um, when I think about weddings,
Mhm.
um, there's there's so much like garbage out there of like people like vendors who don't want to work for
Oh,
like an LGBTQ couple,
yeah.
or like I think it's important to show somehow. I
Hmm.
don't know how. I'm still bad at it. But to show that like you're friendly for those spaces and those
Hmm.
people,
Yeah.
um, so that that doesn't deter anybody from hiring you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like it could be like as simple as your language in
Oh yeah.
your website or just the way we speak. Like um ever since I like wrote my wedding PDF to send out to prospects,
Hmm.
I've always since day one used like inclusive language. Like I don't
Yeah.
say bride and groom.
Right.
I say
Right.
yeah. I just
I
say
just say
like
client. Client.
yeah.
Let's do this. Client. Let's do that. Yeah.
The couple or
Yeah.
the wedding couple,
Yeah.
wedding party. And this happens so much in the wedding industry where people just say like, oh, I had a bride who this, or like, oh, some of my brides say that. And it's like it's not that it's bad, because it could certainly be that all of your current client roster are like
Mhm.
your primary contact is a bride. It's fine.
Mhm.
I just think it's like the more you can use inclusive language, the better it is,
Mhm.
to just show that like you don't care.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, just to show that you're what's the word? Like safe. That you're a
Yeah.
safe person for them to engage.
Mhm.
But and you're very right about like the clients that end up hiring us like retail. That these are like generally very safe spaces
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel
for
like
different genders and LGBTQ plus.
yeah. And I feel like it's because we're in a very safe space. They mostly only looking at your skills, not anything else. And that's what that's what it was the something that I did not recognize, did not know what it would be like before entering the industry. I'm like, oh, people are actually very accepting of everybody. This is amazing. It's finally like they don't care that I'm a woman. You know? It's like
Yeah,
it's just yeah.
I agree. Um, there was there was an event not too long ago that I did where I because I had to do like very quick portraits, I suggested using templates to help speed things up. Um, so the brand was showcasing like a blush product, and I was gonna just like have a facial template kind of already drawn out, because the highlight is not their facial features, the highlight is the product. So I just
Mhm.
drew their hair, and everything's just in black, black and white, and then the blush is the color. But because there's a template, there is the question of like, what kind of template are we drawing? Like, is it a male face? Is it a female face? So then I asked about like, what's the gender of the guest list kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And the PR was like, actually, we have one male attendee and the rest are all female. And I was like, that's not a problem. I'm just going to draw a male facial template as well. And I didn't know who this person was going to look like and how he would express himself or how he identifies or anything like that. I just knew that he identified as a male. That's it.
Yeah.
And so when the event came and I was drawing all these people, and then finally he showed up, and it was very clear to me that this was the person I drew the male template for, right? And I just like wanted to be like super nonchalant about it, not like, oh, say no more, let me pull out. So I didn't want to be like that, right?
Yeah.
So I just said like, oh, I have this template and I have this other one, like let me know which you prefer, right? And he actually picked the female facial template, right? So then I was like, okay, cool. So I just used that one and I just drew his hair. He had short hair, like fabulous makeup. And then I just did his blush and I did the whole thing, all his jewelry. And that's the way he was very happy with his portrait. He posted on his Instagram. It was very sweet. And then at the end of the event, the PR came over and was like, oh, did, XYZ come and get his portrait? And I was like, yeah, he did. But he actually chose the female facial template, right? And she was like, oh my God, I feel so bad that you had to draw. And I was like, oh my God, like, it's not a thing.
Like, don't worry about it. We are inclusive. Yeah.
I don't need to like have like needed him to
like why would
a
you
male
say
template to save. Well, she felt bad, I guess, that I had to draw the male template that didn't get used. But I was just like, oh yeah, no, it's completely like up to them to choose. Like even the females may have not liked the female facial template either. But yeah, I just think it's just such an interesting such an interesting factor of our work that this comes into play sometimes.
That is, I like that. Thank you for sharing that. I did not think about that at all. Like I guess I've never had any gig that require a pre-template for face. I never. Yeah, I love the story.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was my first time too. I was just like, oh, how do we approach this? Oh, I just thought like I would ask, and the answer was like, oh dear, how do we solve this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it all went really well. One more thing I wanted to mention about gender too is like, and again, this is not about getting hired or not, but just part of the on-site experience. Do you feel like you get, because I feel like I do, a little bit sometimes, again, slightly mistreated because we are women on site, but especially by guests. I don't ever really feel it from staff or like colleagues or clients, but with the guests, yeah, like the guests are like the wild factor because you just don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like sometimes the sexism is like a little loud.
There. Yeah, I definitely have experienced that in a guest list or / crowd where they're very well known to have a lot of ego, especially the male. So I felt like me being there was like it was not you can tell by like the women are like very like appreciative and everything, and then some of the men are like just like kind of like brush them like okay, cool.
Mhm.
Like I don't know, like this the respect is a lot less. Yes, personally I have experienced that. So
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes, okay. I do have something I want to share that's been really interesting for me.
yeah.
Um, I've experienced at weddings a bit of a flip on that gender treatment from males and females.
Mhm.
Um, I'm getting more. Oh, I'll talk about two different experiences. At I'll continue with the wedding one where I feel like I'm getting a little bit more like from the women, a little less appreciative
Mm.
than the men. And I'm not talking about in volume, because like I think the majority of female guests like love the idea of getting drawn, getting a picture, like, oh, their fashionable outfits, amazing. I think most females that I encounter really enjoy this. And like you said, less men are like interested in that.
Mhm.
But the people who do, let's just like lift out the number of females and the number of males who do appreciate it. Out of those people, I actually feel more genuineness coming from the men.
Mm.
Where like the girls are very like, oh my god, this is like really cute. Oh, I love what you're doing. Thanks for this. Like I love it. And it's kind of like a toss away. Which like it's not my job that they like absolutely like floor it or whatever. It's just like, yeah, I'm hired to do a service. Here's your thing. I love that they enjoy it. But are they like completely floored versus like this is cute? That's one thing, right? But I've gotten like really genuine, like heartfelt comments from men who are just like so respectful and appreciative of the art, which is like really, I don't know if I should say surprising, but like pleasantly surprising, right? Like
Mhm.
I've definitely gotten more like heartfelt, like wow, like I think you're doing a really amazing job. Like these are incredible. It really shows that you've put a lot of work into your craft, kind of thing. And they will like frame this whole thing and like not in an icky way, just in a respectful, like, wow, like you're really good at this.
Mhm.
Um a way. And I'm here for that. That's so nice that um that we can have that from men too now. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
Yeah, yeah,
I think in so many instances it's very like why do I care about this? And like
yeah.
sometimes they're just being dragged by their girlfriends or wives to be like, this is what I want, and you want one too because I said so. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. So it's just nice to see that like
Yeah.
they're appreciating too.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I feel like in a retail setting, the men there are generally like very disengaged
Yeah.
or have like
Depending on what it's for.
yeah,
Usually it's like the ladies that are like more excited.
yes.
Yeah.
Or like they have like weird judgy things to say. I just like okay.
Yeah. But
Um
I think personally like it's always been sort of like the same from both men and female. It's just that one particular event it was happened to be the type of crowd that are like very boasty.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not good.
That was different. So that was like, oh, I can really feel the male ego energy there.
That is
Yeah, like
because of the guest list.
it's the guest list. It's not because of the
Not because of the
appreciation.
gender, it's the
Yeah,
guest
it's
list.
just the guest list. It's the overall like very like yeah. Um
Oh man.
um I guess one last thing we can talk about like I guess social influence. I don't know. We don't know if it has we kind of sort of touch upon that. If it has any impact or any side effect of how we get hired or the experience that we get?
I think it does
Like
to a
if you're
point.
like, yeah, I think like if you're more of a personality hire, um, there is obviously an advantage for that. I don't know if it's being an introvert versus an extrovert would have a difference, have like a factor into being to that will make the client decide to hire you or not. Sometimes I wonder.
See, I think, okay, so to me, there's two layers to this because social media it's very interesting. I think the image that your profile puts out, it's sometimes, as much as we try to be authentic and like be who we are, whatever, we do design that grid. We design that profile to look a certain way. I don't know that it always translates to how we actually are in person and on site, unless they conduct a video call with you, right? To see like how you carry yourself, how you talk, what do you sound like? Do you have an accent? Like stuff like that, right? Or like, are you outgoing? Are you chatty? Or are you just kind of like passive? Like things like that you get from a video call sometimes.
A video call, yeah.
But yeah, like so part of that answer, I feel like social media, I think there is a factor where let's say for PR, right? Would it help, if you are a widely followed social media personality with lots of engagement, and are you very active? Like I think those things help sometimes. Maybe. Or at least play a factor.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes. We don't know.
It's not a priority, but it's
not
an
a priority.
add-on.
Yeah, it's like
it's an advantage. It's a competitive advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like we like her skills and she posts daily about this stuff and her stuff is very aesthetic, yada yada yada. There's people who admire her artwork that can get engaged. Maybe she'll even post a reel about us. Like I think all this stuff adds to it. But then the second layer of like your point about a personality hire, I think that's like the extreme, right? Like if you're being hired for that.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is like I think there's a factor where it can help you, and then there's definitely a situation where you're hired for that.
I mean, it's hard to know whatever you're being hired or not, for what reasons. We're not in that.
We don't know.
Maybe sometimes we know.
Or sometimes we think we know.
Sometimes we think we know, but sometimes we don't. I don't know everything. We don't know everything, but it's like all these questions that we discuss and are like, we're wondering.
Yeah,
we don't have the answer for it. But we're just all curious.
Yeah, they're thinking questions because there's also been times where like I'm working at an event and somebody's waiting for their drawing or they're just hanging out watching me draw, and then they scan my QR code and they're like, oh my god, you're like famous. like people will make these comments because that's their like first impression of you is like, oh, she's drawing, like this is really cool. And then the impression from just watching the art alone is an experience, but then what's looking at your social media is like it's a different experience. They're like, oh my god, like that's you, oh my god, you worked at whatever brand, and then they see you almost differently immediately, right? So as far as like me experiencing it firsthand, I know that's impactful in some way. And I'm like, oh, I am not famous. Like Like, I don't want to get into it, but like 20,000 of those people are like people who are like not alive on Instagram anymore.
It just optics.
I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you. Like those followers were gotten like 5 years ago when like I didn't do any of the stuff. But like, but that number just means something to people. And whether it's a good or bad thing that like that people see that, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that we did talk about it before, that social media does not, like your social media followers has nothing to do with, like people will hire you or not.
Yeah, you don't have to even exist on social media.
And you can still be hired, right? Through like word of mouth or whatever.
Yeah.
But what we are wondering is, could that actually be a competitive edge? Could that be something that like you can get constantly hired all the time because of that? Or it could be the other way around. Maybe they like, this is like some client who just don't want someone who's like too out there, like sharing too much because of the guest list that they have, right? So it's like, could be either way. We don't know. These are the things like sometimes we wonder, but not talk about.
Yeah, I do wonder about that because sometimes I feel like, like we post about the clients that we work for and the brand names and stuff. And I do wonder if some people are turned off by that,
That's
that like, oh, like this is very loud and like maybe I don't like this brand or that brand. Like that doesn't align with them. Or like, we are more like, neighborhood, quiet brand. Like we like community stuff, and like maybe this doesn't work for us. And that actually has happened to me. Oh, now that I say that sentence, I did get that once where I pitched like a long time ago, obviously. I pitched to somebody and it was kind of like a neighborhoody, like paper good kind of store. And I talked about like this and this and what I can do for them. And they were kind of, they almost said what I just said. They're like, in nicer words, like maybe that works for like yada yada brand, but like it just doesn't really work with us kind of thing. And I was like, oh.
Yes. You don't want the exposure?
I guess I just answered my own wonderment that maybe those brands are like too loud for some people. And yes, it is.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it's actually like a luxury brand too. Like this is why sometimes they make you sign an NDA. And right. So they make decisions for whatever it is. They don't never really tell us unless maybe you explicitly ask. But we're too polite to ask, right? To no. But I mean I have asked usually if it's a very luxury brand, I usually always ask, am I allowed to share this? Or like it's already in my contract. But I would mention it again, like, because in case they didn't read the contract, can I share this? Can I share this on social media? And I know you didn't make me sign any NDA, but I just want to make sure. Can I sign this? Can I share this on social media or not? They're like, yeah, that's fine. Or like,
nice.
No, we don't want you to. I'm like, cool, got it. Yeah. So it's just layers of expectation, and we don't know.
This is actually really interesting because I really don't think anyone's brought this stuff up before.
As much as we want to say social media, doesn't really mean anything much as to be hired, but I don't know. It could be an advantage if you share. It could actually not a great idea. So who knows?
Yeah. It's hard to say.
Most clients don't care though. They don't really. They're not.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. If they went out of their way, like you said, to make you sign an NDA, we know they passionately don't want you to post anything, and that is their prerogative. But like the vast majority of people are like, do what you will.
Exactly. Well, it's been an hour already, or maybe more. So, uh, this is the end of our episode in chat. If there's anything you guys want to talk about in the comment section on our Instagram or YouTube, we want to know what your thoughts do because we didn't really have the answer to everything.
Yeah.
So we want to know if you have experienced something similar or if you have more stories to share, like let us know. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to message us, you can also do that too. If you want to keep stay anonymous, because maybe there's something that we didn't touch and we want to talk about in a future episode. So
Yeah. I wanted to mention, like, you can comment on Spotify, you can comment on YouTube, like, you can comment anywhere, and
Mhm.
we will see it. So just tell us, because
Tell
we
us.
want to know.
Yeah, we want to know. We want to hear feedback. We want to know what you think. All right, so thank you for listening to our episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and make sure you follow us on Instagram if you haven't, on Event Ready Pod. And Isabel, where can people find you?
They can find me at isabeljuzman.com and at isabeljuzman at Instagram too. What about you?
And you can find me at Roseanne Art from on Instagram, sometimes TikTok, as well as on my website, Roseanne Art. All right. So, well, thank you again, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Peace.